I cleaned out my shed the other day and I came across something that I haven't seen in about 5 years since I moved here, actually. It's the cutter head for my old surface planer, the one I took apart because the feed rollers stopped working. The gear stripped out inside there. So I took it apart with the intention of eventually making something with the parts from it. And I didn't ever make anything. I have the cutter head here, and the cutter head would be great for a jointer, but I never intended to make one from it until I just got to thinking about it when I found it out there. You see, the problem with making a jointer from an existing cutter head from an existing tool is if you want to make plans for it, it becomes more difficult. People have to get that exact cutter head, and that can be a problem. So I wanted to make my own cutter head, but that severely complicates it as well. Also, the process of making plans, I'd have to document everything along the way a lot more tightly than I have any intention of doing here. So I don't really need a jointer that much, but I think it would be an interesting project, and I've always wanted to make one. So to get on with what I'm supposed to be talking about here, it had a multi-V pulley on the end, like all these machines do. The shaft on the thing here that the pulley fit on is 17 millimeters, and of course, that being metric, you cannot get regular V pulleys like this in a 17 or a metric size for the shaft. They're all imperial size. So, and like, I don't know why that is, to be honest. You simply cannot get it. So this is 5/8, and I've got a choice. I can either open this hole to 17 millimeters, which would be difficult for me to do because I don't have the tools to do it. I don't have a reamer or anything like that, or a milling machine to, not a milling machine, a metal lathe to put it in and then, cut it out on the inside. But I do have my old wood lathe here, and I've got the cutter head put in the machine here between centers, and it's just kind of clamped in on the cone shape on the drive spur here and on the live end here, and they fit right into the things that are already in the shaft that they use to machine it to begin with. I've taken out the blades and the blade clamps, thinking that it's a good idea to do that because this thing's going to be spinning, not very fast. I'm going to keep the speed low, but one slip and I'm into the blades and I've got myself, a good chunk taken out of my finger, and I don't need that today. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling on and on and on, but the point here is that I want to try to get that shaft down to fit onto this pulley properly. So I'm going to use files to do that. I've already checked this thing here is not hardened, so I can file it. Okay, it took 3 other tries to, taking it off and putting it back on, but I'm there, and it's a good fit. It's nice and snug. There's no rattling around. This shaft has a keyway, and this pulley has a key as well, so I can definitely get one in there, but it looks like I'm going to have to make one to fit in there. And also the what is this called? Set screw. That's in line with the key, so that'll press in on the key. And that looks like it's going to be good. I would like to have a little bit more shaft on the outside here, but what I think I'll do is after I make the key and put it in, tighten the set screw, what I'll do is I'll get some epoxy and pour in this hole so it goes down around those threads. And, epoxy is strong enough to add a little bit of strength there. The majority of it, of course, is where it's meeting the shaft here, where it's machined down with my fancy machining, but every little bit will help.